자, 금요일날 6시 3분이 막 지나고 있습니다. 또 아침 밥 먹기 전에 맹렬히 책을 좀 읽겠습니다. Overcoming Adversity, Insight into the Life of Joseph. God's approval and God's blessing assured Joseph of the divine presence in his life and of his faithfulness to God. Cover letters for dummies. The information that you include in the body of your cover letter gives tangible evidence of your potential contribution to an employer. You are not listening. What you are missing and why it matters. Not that the call wasn't useful. Delivering knock your socks off service. Performance Research Associated Incorporated. When they make you smile, a smile is one of the greatest gifts you can receive. Saying thank you just make it better. The message of hope. was followed. Refusing to know God, they soon didn't know how to be human either. Women didn't know how to be women. Men didn't know how to be men. The positive shift. Who stopped to help her pick up the papers? Only 40% of those who did not feel guilty helped her, compared to 80% of those who felt guilty. This study provides a simple illustration of how giving can be used to help bring us out of a bad mood. HBR's latest thinking on the future of business, the year in tech 2022. While SpaceX has a grand vision, of supporting large numbers of private space travelers, their current space for space activities have all been in response to demand from government customers, that is, the NASA. Started selling. How to use customer-focused dialogue to close sales. He said when he calls this guy, asks about budget, and throws out a number, the customer will fall off his chair. He's probably thinking $10,000, and we start at $50,000. You can be a stock market genius. Uncover the secret hiding places of stock market profits. The second suggestion is what I promised you at the start of the chapter, a way to use what you've learned about recaps to your advantage. Recap. Stop the insanity, eat, breathe, move, change the way you look and feel forever. Start with one dumbbell in each hand in a goalpost position. Brand real. How smart companies live their brand promise and inspire fierce customer loyalty. The touching experience. The touching experience. How to deliver on a promise and meaningful touch point. App began life as a feature for another product. While children learn spoken and body languages, proper postures, eye behavior, etc., they also learn a subtler thing, how to react to space around them. Getting control of big data, how vast new streams of information are changing the art of management. Rapid insight like that can provide an obvious competitive advantage to Wall Street analysts and Main Street managers. Body clutter. Love your body, love yourself. What are the priorities? What are the priorities in your life? The pursuit of perfect. How to stop chasing perfection and start living a richer, happier life. The U.S. Air Force has a similar policy in place. Pilots are not penalized for errors, provided they report them within 24 hours. Quantum healing, exploring the frontiers of mind-body medicine. The original idea, as voiced by the Greeks and by Ayurveda, was much more organic. You don't need a title to be a leader. How anyone, anywhere, can make a positive difference. By focusing attention and care on each moment, we can create a legacy of accomplishment and achievement at work and in life, in everything we do. Fresh foresight, how to see the invisible and do the impossible. Unfortunately, it's human nature to dig in our heels, to protect and defend our existing top. How do we get past that reflex and build our business and our lives on a foundation of a continuous self-reinvention? 25 Days to Better Thinking, Better Living, a guide for improving every aspect of your life. At that point, immediately intervene with productive thinking. Remind yourself of Mother Goose, rethink the situation, dig up new relevant information you previously missed if possible. Keep concentrated on action. Be a doer, not a worrywart. What is interest paid on trouble before it becomes due? Don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. Simple ways to keep the little things from taking over your life. At the same time, however, inflexibility creates an enormous amount of inner stress, or is often irritating and insensitive to other people. Inflexibility. Ju ichi eigo de kokomade hanasereru kakeru. Don't cry, naganaite. The having, the secret art of feeling and growing rich. The difficult essay questions were all from past. I'd read over just before the test. The magic. To take the most effective magic footstep, take magic footstep for about 90 seconds. This is how long it will take the average person to take 100 steps at a leisurely pace. A parable about taking risk and discovering new paths. The two young frogs stared. Eigo hanaseru hidoと挫折する人の習慣。英会話過去には会話ない。and 留学経験チェロなのに話せる人は辞書に投資する。Study skills is still too long, but it's slightly better. Great application for bidding schools. Find out what admissions officers at top schools look for. Your goal will be to achieve a natural rhythm between scenes in which you directly address the camera and illustrative visuals. 100 Simple Secrets of Happy People, what scientists have learned and how you can use it. When asked when they had been the happiest in their lives, each time 8 out of 10 answered right now. The quantum life, there is a better way to live. This field of vibratory activity comes into form at a particular frequency once enough pieces of information are attracted together. Doing business with the Japanese, the contract and beyond, out of difference to the Western mania for unquestionable precision, especially in writing. The Japanese will acquiesce in signing a contract. Nudge, improving decision about health, wealth, and happiness. People probably chose to invest so heavily in stocks because the stock market had been booming for the previous few years. Get up your butt. How to end self-sabotage and stand up for yourself. The result of his choice to focus on the opportunity to make a difference. Is now helping hundreds of thousands of young adults date more safely, respect themselves, and speak out against sexual assault. What your fourth grader needs to know: fundamentals of a good fourth grade education. After William's victory, many Norman Rose clergymen and their household came to England. Outside the box. In addition, many developing countries erected other obstacles. Whatever the official tariff rate, it was exceedingly difficult to import cars into China and medicine into India. Alone together. Why we expected more from technology and less from each other, savvy and insightful. This family is from Vietnam. 100 things successful people do. Little exercise for successful living. If you are very clear on the areas you need to focus on, you can get started immediately. How to be brilliant at public speaking, any audience, any situation. Here the audience don't expect to interact with each other, so communication channels are between the speaker and the individual audience members rather than within the audience. Digital at scale, the playbook you needed to transform your company. Today, the traditional communication channels are supplemented with effective new media. Teaching by principles, an interactive approach to language pedagogy. And the list goes on. Talk Incorporated is reinforced throughout the year at all of our company meetings and in other communication. H says, the search for significance. List 3 recent situations in which your performance did not measure up to the standard you had set for yourself. When my people go shopping, the education of a reluctant businessman. On the contrary, sales representatives, shop owners, sales clerks, and the people in focus groups are usually not visionaries. What obligation do you have if your dog impregnated another? But the decision to terminate the dog's pregnancy isn't one your friend gets to make. Impregnate. Difficult conversation, how to discuss what matters most. Updated with the answers to the 10 most frequently asked questions about difficult conversation. In contrast, you can't fire or transfer your boss. Public speaking, prepare. Interesting, integrating support to the material. The interesting thing is always to see if you can find a fact that will change your mind about something, to test and see if you can. Chapter objectives. After reading this chapter, you should be able to define and understand the information literacy. Be happy without being perfect. How to worry less and enjoy life more. Or you pick the restaurants and decide where to get takeout. Korean perception of the United States. So that Allied powers assembled at the peace conference will take such action as will free Korea from the present dominion of Japan and placed Korea under the mandatory of the League of Nations with the guarantee of complete independence in the future. 복구와 The Armchair Economist, Economics and Everyday Life. I applaud the spirit that concocted this story, though I don't believe it is correct. Concocted. The art of Wu, using strategic persuasion to sell your ideas. There were 4 other people with the title CEO, in addition to Fiorina. He explained that each one had his own CFO. Breaking the habit of being yourself. Stepping toward your new destiny. Inner Sight, the new science to unlock your brain's hidden power. Success. We all have at times insisted on seeing more potential problems than potential opportunities in a generally good situation. But why? Why we are so positively negative? Why did I even open my mouth? This will never work. Beggars can be choosers. Bipolar disorder for dummies. Proceed with light therapy only under the direction and supervision of a qualified professional. What do eyeglasses, craft beer, and the DNA test all have in common? They were all revolutionized by unconventionals. We've had our expectation turned upside down by leading brands like the Warby Parker, Waze, and the Ancestry because they saw things differently. How did they do that? By simply questioning the core prevailing wisdom, which in turn created outsized results and lasting change. Outside the result. Winning job at the interviews. No, I don't mean you should go out and start looking for a new job tomorrow. I mean that how you close out your current job hunt will strongly influence how long it will take and how much energy it will take to get you up and running on your next job search, regardless of when it comes to pass. 10 powerful praise for positive people. I trust you. What's the fastest way to learn language? To learn a language, act like a baby. Act like the baby. Are you fully charged? The 3 keys to energizing your work and life. Upload, create a positive charge. The best use of an hour. The best use of an hour is to invest it in something that will continue to grow. Continue to grow. On purpose. Who are you going to believe when those voices remind you of everything you are not, of how many times you've failed? One of the best things you can say is, I am righteous, I am holy, I am blameless, I am honorable. Everything in your mind will say, no, you are not. You have an addiction. You keep giving in to the temptation. You made those are the mistakes. But when you declare, I am righteous, 진세よ帰る万有陰陽驚く植物的な時間性を生きる blind spot. Why we fail to do what's right and what to do about it. And appreciated the generosity of this assistance, but couldn't help but wonder if it was motivated by the fact that she's a short woman and was clearly struggling with the boxes. Release your brilliance. Identify 3 ways you can invest more in your relationship with your spouse. Stop talking. Stop influencing. Stage 1 is awareness. Stage 1 is awareness. Letters to a young athlete. So put that work into yourself and be proud of it. Your best life now. Your best life. Your best Your best life begins each morning. Devotion to start every day of the year. When you believe, Romans chapter 4. Abraham never wavered in believing God's promise. In fact, his faith grew stronger, and in this he brought glory to God. Recalculating. Instead of penalizing emission, the trend in America is to offer tax credit, loans, and grants. Penalizing. Marketing rules. Lessons from the best marketing book of all time. Take the Palm Information Organizer. Why we sleep. Unlocking the power of sleep and the dreams. The sleep recordings indicate that the patient has slept far better than they themselves believe, and sometimes indicate that a completely full and healthy night of sleep occurred. Never give up. Relentless determination to overcome life's other challenges. I'm not talking about being embarrassed because of something you've done, but about who you are. Currency trading. Inflation gauges. Inflation report I used to monitor overall changes in price levels of goods and services, and as key inputs into setting monetary policy expectation. Great TED Talks on creativity, an unofficial guide with words of wisdom from 100 TED speakers. What changes our behavior is not actually proportionate to the degree of expense. Learn like a pro. And that extra brain is also critical to avoid being surprised by harsh judgment in a talent show. 안쇼니 놀이하게루. 안쇼니 놀이하게루. 암초에 걸리다. 안쇼 놀이하게루. 자차다.入門問の超勉強法。無駄がないからどんどん実力がつく。昨年の夏、イギリスへ行ったなのでしょう。正解。Yes, I have. Multipliers. How the best leaders make everyone smarter. Neutralize your weakness. A common misconception in executive coaching is that coaching or development can or even should turn your weakness into strength. Neutralize. The truth is that you do not need to be fabulous at everything. You just can be bad. You simply need to neutralize the weakness and move it into the middle, acceptable zone. Having realistic goals free up capacity to do the most important development work, turning your modest strengths into towering strengths. Fabulous. The miracles of your mind are ready to unlock your true potential. Dr. A's findings in heart experiments of chicks are significant, pointing to the basic finding that life functions despite the lack of complete organistic equipment.一瞬で人生の答えが見つかる。古代ギリシャ人は思考に癒しの力があることを知っていたので、病人の担架に乗せて感激に連れ出しました。The breakthrough experience.